Hey, okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. Apologize again. We had some technical difficulties again. Welcome to season 7, episode 2 of Sentell, the best damn sports podcast, period. The undisputed champion of sports podcast. I am your host, the sensational Sentell Whiteman, aka Mr. No Days Off, aka the One Man Dynasty. Had a great show yesterday. We talked a lot about college football, and we're gonna do that again today. I'll have Kiwi Dennis back on in just a little while. We'll kind of finish up what we talked about yesterday. We had a lot of, like I say, we talked a lot about the top 10 in college football. We talked about Georgia, obviously, the reigning, defending two-time national champs. We talked about Michigan. We talked about Ohio State. We talked about Bama. We talked about Clemson. We talked about the Ep2 team, FSU. We talked about all those teams in the top 10. Clemson also. We're going to discuss some teams outside of the top 10. Even outside of the top 25, we're going to get into talking about those teams as well. But before we get into that, it's a couple of headlines I want to touch on. NFL related. Jonathan Taylor, the running back from the Indianapolis Colts, has been granted permission to seek a trade from the Colts. They will not pay him. But it's funny, like the Colts don't want to pay Jonathan Taylor, but they're asking for a first round pick. So we don't think you're valuable enough to pay you, but we want teams to give us a first round pick. Make that make sense? And that just got me to thinking about the running back position in general and how much we've devalued the position as of late. It has been really something to see. You look at the contracts of the running backs right now compared to every other position, it's mind-boggling how much we've downgraded the position, how much we've again devalued the running back position. Let's just call it what it is. You have the leading rusher last year, Josh Jacobs, not even in count, and that's not even a story right now. No one's even talking about the fact that the leading NFL rusher from last year is not even in count. It's not even there. We had Saquon Barkley contract situation early in the offseason. He managed to squeeze out an extra $1 million from the Giants. Hooray, I guess. You know, but you're looking at these NFL rushers, and I've kind of pulled some of the contracts of some of the best in the game. I mean, I just told you Josh Jacobs, league in rushing, 1,600 yards last year. He's only scheduled to make $10 million this season. I know y'all scoffing on $10 million. That's a lot of money. Yeah, to me and you, that is a lot of money. But to an NFL running back, that is, that's pennies compared to what I'm going to tell you about what the quarterback is making. And look, we need to get it. It's the most important position on the field. It is the most important position on the field. It is by far the toughest position in all of sports. There's no question about that. And if you don't think so, watch the Netflix documentary about quarterbacks that Peyton Manning has produced. It is a great show, and you will see what I'm talking about. But Josh Jacobs, $10 million. Derrick Henry, now, we all agree, Derrick Henry, who's been fantastic, who's been great for several years now, has been an elite running back for several years. He's making $10.5 million. That's all he's making, $10.5 million. Nick Chubb, great running back for the Cleveland Browns, $10.8 million. I just mentioned Saquon. He's going to make about $11 million this season. Miles Sanders, fresh off a 1,200-yard season. Fresh off a 1,200-yard season. Fresh off a 1,200-yard season. Got a new contract, brand new spanking contract. Normally when you get the next contract, you the new guy, you get a lot of money. And he's going to make $6 million this year. A guy who almost had 1,300-yard rushing in his prime hits the open market as a running back. He's getting $6 million. Dalvin Cook, 4 years in the league, 4 straight Pro Bowls. He just got $7 million is worth up to $8 million. He got cut. A 4-time Pro Bowl running back got cut in his prime, got cut. Forget getting a contract extension. They say forget reducing the contract, forget reconstruction. They just flat out cut him. They cut him. A 4-time Pro Bowler. 4 seasons in the league, 4 times Pro Bowler, over 1,000 yards each season. They flat out cut him. They flat out cut him. So where did this come from? Where did this devalue of the running back position come from? And I want to tell you something. And then you're gonna, I mean, when you hear, now I mentioned the best of the best at running back positions. Now go look at what the quarterbacks are making. Justin Herbert. I love Justin Herbert. But he was the last guy to sign a contract for a quarterback, right? $52 million annually. $52 million. That's $41 million more than the top paid running back. $41 million more. Now, he's not the best at his position. Second, third, fourth, fifth, he may not even, he's top 10. I would definitely give him top 10. And he's making $41 million more than the top paid running back. That is insanity. Lamar Jackson, $52 million annually. Now, he's an MVP, so I'm not going to scoff at that. But, again, $52 million. Jalen Hurts, fresh off his best one great season, $51 million annually. Russell Wilson, fresh off a horrific season, is making $48 million. Kyler Murray, fresh off an ACL, $46 million. So, what happened? How did we get here? How did we devalue the position so much? I get it. Quarterback's the most important position on the field. I understand it's the most toughest position in football. But there's no other position that's more physically demanding on your body than running back. And basically, after you get through with your rookie contract, your team is pretty much done with you. See Ezekiel Elliott. They gave him a big deal after his third season, and he was never at that level again. So they paid him for what he had done. And that is where owners and GMs go, we got you. That's the tale. We gave Zeke all that money, and we never got that kind of value out of it, never got the production out of the money that we was paying him. He was the highest paid running back for the last several years, $16 million plus. No one may ever at running back get to $16 million again at the work we're at right now, because the owners and GMs feel like running backs are a dime a dozen. I grew up in an era where running back used to be the position that every kid wanted to be. You grew up idolizing all the great running backs, the Barry Sanders, Herschel Walkers, the Emmitt Smiths, Jerome Bettis, LaDainian Tomlinson, Marcus Allen, Curtis Martin. I mean, so many guys who could go on and on and on about running back that we used to love. Bo Jackson. Just backs and backs and backs that we just cared about, and we want to be just like. We want to play the running back position. But now, do you really want to be a running back? I mean, you only going to make the money on your rookie deal. And most of these guys not getting drafted in the first round. So you're not a Dalvin Cook. You're not Ezekiel Elliott. You're not Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey. Because now these guys are so divided, you're not taking them in the first round. There was only one running back taken in the first round this past draft, Bijan Robinson. I think he went 10th overall. So, if you're taking the second, third round, you're not even making that money rookie deal, and they got you for 3-4 years. You may not see a second big contract. And that's what's happening right now. Josh Jacobs was a top pick. He can't get his money. Jonathan Taylor, 24 years old. 24 years old. Could you imagine who moves on from 24-year-old players, elite players at their position? 24. Would this happen at any other position? No, I don't think so. I can't see any other position being like this. But running back. And man, I don't know what's the answer to this problem. We've divided them. We've we've divided them so badly. So I just don't know what to do. If you got solutions out there, you know I'm a solutions oriented person. Comment a solution to this running back situation right now. Because if not, it's gonna just keep getting worse and worse and worse. Like I mentioned, Miles Sanders had his best season. Usually your best season after your, into your free agency, you should supposed to get paid. He got $6 million annually. Six. He got $6 million. That's all he got. He got $6 million. That's crazy. So we're gonna talk a little college football. Kiwi Dennis should be joining us shortly. We're gonna get into the college football. We're gonna talk about some, like I said, some teams that are outside of the top 25, outside of the top 10. We're gonna give you our playoff picks. I got my playoff picks wrote down, but I don't have a champion yet, and I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to give you one. We maybe give you a couple of Heisman picks as well. The last 10 Heisman Trophy winners have, out of the last 10, have been 8 have been quarterback. This is turned into a quarterback award. You had Derrick Henry and Devontae Smith, I think, are the last 2 non-quarterbacks to win this award. And Devontae Smith was 2020. He was spectacular. So it's gonna take. So it's gonna take some time to get. It's gonna take something special for a non-quarterback to win this award. I got Kiwi Dennis on the line, about to get him in here, and have him join me. And we're gonna talk a little bit more about some teams that's not inside the top 10. I think most of you heard me on 92.9. I have a team that I'm super high on outside of the top 10. They right outside the top 10, so it's not like they're really far away from the top 10, but it's a team that I really, really, really like. Trying to get you in here. Just give me a second. Bear with me. I'll get you in here. I don't want people just to hear you. I want them to be able to see you. So, hey, he is. That's the man of the hour. Kiwi Dennis joins us live. Any thoughts about what I was talking about before we get into this college football, about the running back position? Because you was a running back in high school.
Yeah. You mean about like the devaluing of the position?
Yes.
I didn't hear your stuff before.
Yeah. Talk about the devaluing of the running back position.
Yeah. I mean, it it's kind of been heading that way for a while. I know, teams tend to been throwing the ball around a little bit. I think started a lot with San Francisco in the West Coast offense. You didn't really need the running back with the short passing game. So it's kind of been heading that way a little bit. But I think there is and always will be still be a place in the game for running backs, because once it gets cold, you're not slinging the ball around like that. You're gonna have to start running the ball. So there's always gonna be a place for running backs. And I just don't like how teams are doing the running backs. That's the part that definitely needs some kind of change to go along with the changes of the times with the position. But yeah, it definitely, the devaluing comes from, as far as like trying to pay the running back position. But as far as like the position itself, I don't think it's devalued, because it'll still be forever needed, especially like playoff runs, with whether it's college football or pro football.
Yeah, you even look at the Super Bowl last year. Patrick Mahomes won the MVP, but they rushed for 158 yards. And I thought some of the biggest plays in that game were made by Isaiah Pachenko. I can't think I hope I'm saying his name right, but he makes some big runs. Kadarius Toney makes some runs. So I think there's a need for the running game. Like I say, once it gets cold, and nobody wins completely without running the ball. Sustains it. I ain't gonna say you can't win a game or two without having a running game, but I'm a 49ers fan, so yeah, you're not gonna ever hear me say, "Hey, let's not run the football," because that's all we want to do is run the football. I think it's a mental thing when you run the football. You can physically dominate teams. You can mentally beat teams up when you run the football well. So I'm always think there's a place for a running back. So yeah, let's get into the to this college football. I know we talked about the top 10 a lot yesterday. Um, so I already got my team already picked out. So give me a team outside the top 10 that you're really high on heading into the season.
Yeah, always.
Oh, you hear me? You hear me?
I
Oh.
cut out a little bit. I'm sorry. What was that?
I was saying I already told everybody I have a team that I'm very high on, and I would give them to you after the fact. But give me a team that you're high on outside of the top 10 heading into the season.
Okay. And a lot goes into what I would say here, but a team that I'm high on, and it's because I believe in the coach, and the quarterback is proven. So I'm gonna go with Notre Dame. They have
Mm.
pretty easy schedule outside of Ohio State, USC, and then they got Clemson later in the season. But
Mm.
two of those big three games are at home against USC and Ohio State, and I think with Sam Hartman, they have enough. They have enough to beat those teams at home. So I'm gonna go with Notre Dame. That's the team, and again, because I believe in Marcus Freeman, I think he can turn it around now that he has a quarterback in there, because he always plays tough defense. He's a defensive minded coach, so they're gonna play tough D, and yeah, that'll be my sleeper team outside of the top 10.
I like that pick a lot. Sam Hartman, I think that is a perfect fit for Notre Dame. They needed a quarterback last year. That was kind of the piece they were kind of missing. I don't too much care for the Al Golden hire because everything he touches, see Kevin Steele. I don't like that hire at all. But I love the Sam Hartman. Um, before I go any further, let me say that Mark Wright. He said, "I totally agree that the running back position has been undervalued." Yeah, we all agree. Mark is we old school cats. We all love the running back position, so it sucks that that the running back position have. But everybody knows I'm high on Texas. That's my team outside of the top 10. Quinn Ewers, the third year shark, Xavier Worthy. I like the way he's been recruiting. They have been bringing elite talent in. That quarterback room is really, really good. So that's going to push Quinn Ewers to be even better. I know they go to Alabama early in the season, but outside of a blowout loss to Alabama, I just see them getting into the playoff this year, making a strong run. I think everybody in the pack, the Big 12 kind of comes back to the pack. TCU loses a lot. Uh, Kansas State loses Deuce Vaughn, and Oklahoma still kind of getting acclimated to Brent Venables. So I just think this is Texas year. God, I hope they don't make a fool out of me, but I'm high on Texas.
Yeah, I kind of figured you were going with Texas. That's why I didn't want to go with the same pick. You know what I'm saying? I like Texas too. I'm with you on that. And just think back before the injury last year, they were handling Bama easily, easily
Yeah.
handling Bama before the quarterback injury. But yeah, I'm high on Texas. I like Texas as well
Okay,
with
before
their
I get to
schedule.
this next, if I ask you the next question, Mark Wright gets back in again. He says neither the New York Giants nor the Indianapolis Colts would be anything without Barkley or Taylor. I definitely agree with the New York part. Barkley definitely carries that team. Taylor been kind of off injured for the Colts, and I don't think you really. They kind of rebuilding, so I mean, what's good is having Jonathan Taylor. You kind of rebuilding. But yeah, the Giants definitely go as Saquon Barkley goes. Um, let's see. Now last year we had an anomaly because TCU made it all the way to the college football playoff championship game, right? They were not ranked in the preseason top 25 last year. So let's go way outside the box right here. Who is a team outside of the top 25 that could potentially get to the college football playoffs?
Ew.
I don't think it's
Slim
gonna happen,
pickings
but
on
go
that one.
ahead.
Yeah, I don't see any of these teams ranked outside of the top 25 that'll make the playoffs.
I mean, yeah,
You making me pick one.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
I got one. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen, but I got a team that I think could do it if it's the odds are way against it. I mean, good God.
yeah. It's not looking good. Jeez.
No, you
Okay.
ain't gotta pick one.
Um,
Look. I got
yeah,
look,
yeah. Come back to me on that one.
look,
Let me
look.
think, let me think on that.
This is gonna blow up the internet. The South Carolina Gamecocks,
Yeah.
I think, could have a. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but if I had to pick a team outside the top 25 who can make a Cinderella type run, it would be the South Carolina Gamecocks. Everything lines up for them to make that kind of TCU run. And I mean, the schedule is a little bit tougher because of the SEC, but they play 7 home games. And in November, they play 4 straight home games. They go to Georgia. Obviously, that's going to be tough. Clearly, that's going to be tough. But outside of that, the schedule kind of sets up nice. They got a 5th-year quarterback. That's what TCU kind of had going on with them last year. They had Quinton Johnson. Carolina has Juice Wells. They don't have the kind of running back that TCU had, but we shall see. I just think there's a lot of excitement around the program, but yeah, I don't think no one's gonna go from unranked this year to the playoffs. But if I had to pick a team, I would go with South Carolina Gamecocks.
Yeah, I would not go with the game.
Of course, yeah, of course,
That
of
wouldn't
course.
be my
Well,
pick. But
go
right, I was
ahead.
gonna say the thing about the teams that are not ranked in the top 25, they all have tough schedules, so it's gonna be hard for any of those teams to make it. But along those same lines, if they can beat those teams, then they pretty much like a shoe in it to get there. So
And
I see what you're saying with South Carolina.
that's what I was looking at
Uh,
because you had to
I
look at
just don't.
TCU. Like, how did they get through the schedule? They went undefeated through the regular season. So, how did you get from unranked to go to a season undefeated? Like, it's gonna be damn impossible in the SEC to go from that to undefeated in the conference. But one loss, I don't see that happening because it's just too tough to do in the SEC. But if Spencer Rattler all of a sudden bottles up what he had the last 3 games of the season, of the regular season from last year, and that's some magic dust, fairy sprinkle dust that Shane Beamer's been spraying on that's been sprinkling on William Bryce Stadium, and if something like that was to happen, like the ghost of Blake Mitchell or something like that, Steve Tannehill with the pop up, that's the only thing.
Yeah. All right. I'll give you a team. I'm just looking at the schedule here, so I'll give you a team.
uh
They have a really favorable schedule,
huh.
and they play in a really weak conference.
Uh
So I say Boise State. Outside of Washington, they got
huh.
Washington the first game of the season. So if they can beat Washington, then I think they honestly got a good shot of crashing the playoffs. I
Oh
mean,
wow.
honestly, look at the schedule, man. The schedule is
I'll go.
really favorable,
I would go
really
look that up in a
favorable
little
for
bit. That's
a
that's
team that's
outside the
returning
box
a,
because I was
a
looking at
good
some other
bit
teams.
of their production from last year. So yeah,
I
I,
was
I
looking at
say
some.
I say Boise State. Boise
Yeah.
State.
Look, I didn't look at them. I looked at Nebraska because I like this. They got a
Yeah.
they got a veteran quarterback coming back with a new head coach. That's kind of like TCU. They had a new head coach with a veteran quarterback. I like Duke. I was thinking about Duke maybe, but they're not gonna win it. They're not gonna go to the playoffs. But and while I'm talking about Duke, let's talk a little bit about the ACC just a little bit because we both ACC, SEC. We kind of know what we're talking about there. So to you, is it a Clemson, Florida State battle only, or is there somebody in the ACC that can challenge either one of those two teams?
I'll put it like this: Clemson and Florida State will more than likely be the only teams in the ACC that does not finish with at least 4 losses. So that's
Wow.
that's my answer to that one.
Wow. Wow. I didn't see that coming. I like Pitt. And like I said, I mentioned Duke. I like Duke. I like Pitt a lot. I like having Phil Jerkovich come over from Boston College. Played a lot of ACC football. Dudes, they was 25th in total defense last year. They always keep a really good defense with two good defensive ends. If you ever notice anything, and that's a house of horrors for people to come play at Pitt. So I like Pitt. I like Duke. Everybody else, I'm kind of with you on. Miami is a mess, just an absolute mess. Um, Virginia Tech, Virginia breaking in a new quarterback. I mean,
North Carolina, yeah, North Carolina has the quarterback.
yeah, Drake May is fantastic, but they can't stop a nosebleed. They can't stop anybody.
Yeah, not at all.
They can't stop anybody. So we mentioned those teams there. So now it's time to kind of knuckle up a little bit. Let's knuckle up right now. I got 4 playoff teams down here, but I don't have a champion. I got 4 playoff teams down here. I'll give you my team, then you give me your team. I got USC, LSU, Texas, and Michigan. Who do you have?
All right, so I'm a little bit the same as you. I do not trust Michigan, so I'm going with Ohio State,
Mm-hmm.
LSU, USC, and in Georgia.
So 2
So
SEC
Ohio
teams.
State, oh, actually, Ohio State, LSU, USC, and Georgia. That would
Mm.
be my pick.
I I want because I don't think because I do kind of feel like you with Georgia. I don't ever bet somebody gonna go undefeated regular season, but I think they will lose to one game, which would be in the
They'll play in the
SEC
championship
championship.
more than likely.
So
They
I
both
can see
be there.
Georgia getting
See
back
their
in with the
wins.
one loss. I just for this sake, I don't like putting 2 SEC teams in 2 teams in one conference. So I try to look just a little bit different. I still ain't decided to win it yet. I want to go USC Texas so bad just to spark up memories of the greatest Rose Bowl in the history of college football. Just to do that, I want to go USC Texas.
Yeah.
Just to do that. But I also know the SEC just continues to always be there at the end. So you got to figure LSU and Georgia, one of them going to be in the game. And that's just how it goes. So I just so and it'd be hard for me to pick USC with that defense. Um, but yeah, that's where I'm at right there with those 4 teams. We'll get to the championship before you get off the air. Who you think will win it all? Let's go to some Heisman hopefuls. I mentioned the quarterbacks been dominant. I mean, 8 out of the last 10 been quarterbacks. Do you see that changing at all this season?
Um, I don't. We got some really good quarterbacks. That we got some that are in second year of the system. Like I like Jaden Daniels. I like Jordan Travis from Florida State. I think he'll be a good. He'll play good enough to kind of be in the conversation, and Florida State should have a good enough record so that he's in the conversation. Of course, I like Drake May. I don't think that team will be good at all, though. So I don't necessarily think that he'll be in the conversation. But yeah, it's a quarterback's award for the most part. So I don't
Yeah,
see it changing.
a guy Sam Hartman could get in this race because there's a chance Notre Dame could go undefeated. There's a real chance that Notre Dame could go undefeated, and Sam Hartman would be in this mix if they go undefeated. No one has won a back-to-back Heisman since the '70s, so it'd be hard to go with Caleb Williams again. So it's gonna be somebody new. It's probably gonna be a quarterback. So you just pick one of those guys: Jaden Daniels, Quinn Ewers. I don't see JJ McCarthy putting up the kind of production that it would take to win the award. Um, so it's definitely going to be a quarterback. A lot of good candidates for that award, but I think watch for Sam Hartman because they get Notre Dame could possibly go undefeated, man. That would put you definitely squarely. If you win, if you go undefeated Notre Dame and put up big numbers, your ass gonna be in New York. Just facts. So let's kind of get off a little bit off actual game. Let's
Yeah, that's true.
um
That's true.
something that near and dear both of our heart happened this day. This morning, a Netflix documentary called Swamp Kings about the 2006 to 2009 Florida Gators, basically the Urban Meyer era. I know you watched intently. It was so nostalgic. Oh my goodness! Took me all the way back to. I can remember exactly where I was like each one of those games. Um, Thoughts about the Swamp Kings documentary? What you like? What you didn't like? Would you want to see something else? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like. Obviously, I like the nostalgic feeling of the good old days. The good days had the good teams. Dominant teams. So it's good to kind of see that. Um, you know, I I like how they put it together. I really wish they would have had more players. From the teams on there. Like I
Mm-hmm.
wish. It'd have been good to see Percy.
Mm-hmm.
Percy on the dot. It'd been good to see a couple other players out there. Maybe the Pouncey twins. It'd been good to see those
Yeah,
boys out
Chris
there
Lee.
as well. But yeah, the only other thing I would say that I thought it would dive a little deeper into the issues that they kind of
They
skirted over that a little
yes,
bit,
they
which
did.
I can understand why they did that, but I wish they would have dove into the issues a little more, to kind of see what the stress level that Urban really was feeling while he was there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. Before I get my thoughts on it, let me let everyone know where you are watching. You're watching Sentell's Intel, the best damn sports podcast. Period. The undisputed champion of sports podcast. I'm your host, the sensational Sentell Whiteman, aka Mister No Days Off, aka the One Man Dynasty. I'm joined by Kiwi Dennis. We talked a lot about college football in the top 10, outside the top 10, and now we're kind of talking about the Swamp Kings documentary on Netflix. Both of us being diehard Florida fans, this is right in our wheelhouse. I mean, you talk about the glory days, and you look at those teams. It was a distinct possibility that that team could have had 3 out of 4 championships. I mean, if they get past Alabama, they win the national championship. They're winning the national championship in '09 too. Even with the deficiencies I saw on that team, they beat Bama. They win the national championship. They would be 3 out of 4. That would have been, and with a Heisman Trophy mixed in with that. I mean, what a run! And you can see why Urban got burnt out so quickly. Like he was into it. He was putting his soul into it. So there's no reason. There's a reason why he stepped down as quick as he did. He might have died if he had stayed coaching at Florida. You can chime in on that.
yeah, easily.
Yeah, um,
Yeah, no, yeah, like you're saying, it definitely I could see the high stress level.
oh, I might have lost him out there. Did I lose him? I might have lost him. Yeah, I might have lost him. I think he went offline. It says he's offline. Yeah, I might have lost Kiwi right there. But yeah, we just talking about the Swamp Kings. I know big old Titan. I think he's a Titan and a Florida Gator fan. So he's over there feeling nostalgic as well. Chris Randy and hit stick Brandon Spikes. Oh, did we get you back? Did Jay come back? Guess that okay. He muted himself. I think he's having some technical difficulties. Uh, Let me know when you get back in. Give me a thumbs up when you get back in. Like you having some difficulties over there. Oh, okay. Finish your thoughts. Finish your thoughts.
No, I was just talking about Urban Meyer, a little bit. Definitely, you can kind of physically see that he was stressed out while he was there. part of what I didn't know, I did learn something in the documentary about how heavy the whole Avery Atkins situation
Mm-hmm.
was weighing
Mm-hmm.
on him. Avery Atkins. Some of you may not know he was a Florida Gator player. He got in trouble because you know Urban Meyer let the guys get away with a lot, but one thing was would automatically get you kicked off the team was if you physically hit a woman, and he would kick you off the team. So um, after Avery Jackson got in some issues with the girl that he was seeing, he ended up getting kicked off the team, and within a year of him being kicked off the team, they found him in his car, passed away. So speculations on what happened there, but that's something that I think weighed heavy on Urban Meyer and his decision to step down as well, because he talked about that in the doc a little bit. And you could definitely see how he was dejected when he was talking about that particular topic in Avery Atkins.
Yeah, anytime you're the head coach, you go into these kids' homes, and you talk to their parents, and you're responsible for them. You tell their parents that they're good with me. I got them. I am an extension of you. And if something tragic happens to them under your watch, pretty much under your watch, you feel awful. I mean, you feel terrible because you're taking on that role as a guardian, a parent, and you come to love these kids. You've been around them. You've been in their houses, and it's like one of your own kids, passing away. So yeah, I'm sure that weighed heavy on him. I mean, what a time to be alive. What a time to be a Gator fan. I mean, when you're at the top of the mountain, I know what Georgia feels like right now. This is what Georgia feels like right now. This is what Bama fans feel all the time. This is what Clemson fans felt those 4 or 5 years when they had Deshaun and Trevor back to back. This is what you feel like when you're the best. When you're the best, and everybody's tuning in every weekend to see you. Every weekend they're tuning in to see you, and it's something special about that. It's something fun about that. Like we lost Kiwi. I don't know. We didn't even didn't get his championship picks. But maybe he'll get back in. We can get his picks. Before I get out of here. Oh man, but man, what a time to be alive. Let me see, can I carry this thing for like about 20 more minutes? Let's see, can I carry this thing? Tonight, it is a Tuesday. So check out HBO's Hard Knocks. See episode 3. The Jets are on there. Been a pretty fun watch so far. First episode was really, really entertaining. The way the Jets players were acting about Aaron Rodgers, some of the throws he was making, it was fun. Then see episode 2, Robert Saleh was on there screaming and going crazy and cursing out everybody because how bad they looked in the joint practices. But yeah, we lost Kiwi. But anybody out there, if you watching, man, leave comments. Have any questions regarding the upcoming college football season? I will be back the next time live next Wednesday, the day before the Florida Gators kick off against Utah in an anticipated rematch from last season's game. And that'll lead you right into the first full weekend of the college football seasons. Got some games this weekend. I mentioned Notre Dame, an early chance for Sam Hartman to kind of throw up some numbers against Navy. USC, Caleb Williams gets a chance to get on the field. Bandy from the SEC playing Hawaii, I believe there is. I was talking about the ACC, and I was saying how much I like Duke, and I like Riley Leonard a lot. The Calhoun kid can really play. And Mike Elko is already, other than my head coach, Mike Elko is already my second favorite head coach in college football. It's already my second favorite. And some of you may say, why is Mike Elko your second favorite college football coach? Because his favorite musical artist is my favorite musical artist. So therefore, you are in good graces with me, Mike Elko. Mike Elko's favorite musical artist is Jay-Z. So we are good. So therefore, I am wishing nothing but the best to Mike Elko this season. I'm wishing the best. They open up with Clemson at home on Monday night, Labor Day. Should be an exciting environment. Wallace Wade Stadium. And it's like I say, it's a lot of hype around Duke. Duke had a good season last year. And Riley Leonard played really well. The juniors coming back, put up some big numbers. Mike Elko has infused some energy into the program. Clemson coming in, got some question marks, about the team coming into the season. So a chance, maybe, potentially for an upset in week one for the Duke Blue Devils. Also, week one, you got a big game in Orlando. Uh, should be outstanding. Two top 10 teams hooking it up. LSU, FSU, they gave us a great matchup last year. Neither team at that time was ranked. LSU had a new head coach. They had a new quarterback. Mike Norvell was coming off a horrible season. Didn't know what to expect from Florida State. This one is going to be good. This one's going to be really, really good. Two teams that have playoff aspirations going to get it on, going to hook it up down in Orlando at Camping World Stadium. I'm looking forward to it. Florida State won the game last year. LSU, a lot of special team mistakes last year. They had an extra point, I think, to tie the game. Either got blocked or missed it. I can't remember. They had a muff punt. Just a lot of stuff that was going on. But this should be fun. Jaden Daniels, Jordan Travis, two veteran quarterbacks. So this should be fun. Big old Titan. Will Florida make a change at head coach if they have a 5 or 6 win season? The answer is absolutely not. There's no way Billy Napier should be even remotely on a hot seat, on a warm seat, on a bleacher seat. No. If he especially goes 6 wins, go a bowl game, no. Why? No. We just talked about this with Urban Meyer. This is what happened with Urban. This is what we talking about. The expectations of Florida fans are through the roof. This man came in through a complete rebuild. 75, I want to say 75 players are new or his the last 2 years that he's brought in. So it's a complete overhaul of the roster. That's about 90% of the players on the team are new in the last 2 years that he's brought in through either the portal, recruiting, and various other things. No. Now, like I say, unless barring a 2-10 season and some fake bomb death threats, a complete disaster, which I can't see. The way they run their organization and this structurally, I can't see that happening. Now the schedule is the schedule. But no, he can't be. You got to get a guy. You got to give him at least 3 years. I mean, you got to give a guy 3 years. That's why I was so upset with FSU when they fired with the Tiger, even though it was a train wreck. I just think 3 years because if you fire Mike Norvell after 2 seasons, you don't get the season you had last year. Right? Correct? You don't get that. Everybody want to fire Mike Norvell. Even doing parts of season 3, there were people wanting to fire Mike Norvell. So you got to give guys time. I'm more of the mindset of 4 years. Unless season 3, and Florida's schedule is going to be tough in season 3. Now we should be much improved. We should be better. We should demand that we win double-digit games in year 3, even with the schedule. But, this guy did a tremendous job acquiring talent. This is a talent acquisition business. You got the number 3 ranked recruiting class right now for 24, but a really good class in last year. So yeah, I don't see it now. And for a 2-10, 0-12 season, Billy Napier should be fine. Big old Titan. I didn't catch the beginning of the show, but should Dan Mullen have played AR-15 right away over Emory? That is one of those things. Dan Mullen, if you watch the documentary, Swamp Kings, speaking on that Dan Mullen was not the Dan Mullen Florida guy. Because he didn't have that dog that it took to be a top program in the SEC. He didn't have that dog. It was clear as day that AR was better than Emory. Even at Emory's best, that wasn't going to take you anywhere. Why are you not starting AR? that one more year of development, Dan Mullen had a bit of an ego problem. Very egotistical, very arrogant, because he should have fired Todd Grantham early in the process. That should have happened a long time ago. And then he had this guy, AR, he had him on the roster and absolutely refused to play this guy. And it probably would have saved him had he started AR right after his that would have been his sophomore year. He should have played when he came in for Emory in those games early in the season when he was making those big runs against South Florida and all that good stuff. That should have been it. It should have been over for Emory. But yet he kept trying Emory out there. And so that would have saved him. Fine, Todd Grantham would have saved him. But he just hadn't had a dog in him. He didn't want to recruit. Lazy recruiter. And by the time it got to the end, there were recruits that were saying that they hadn't heard from Florida in months after they were offered. Like, you just can't do that at these programs in the SEC. You would get eaten alive. It's about talent acquisition. You have to acquire talent. No, he got himself fired. I think the arrogance, we was going through that stretch his last season, losing all of those games. And he was just so arrogant about it. Celebrating after being like some damn FCS school. I think it was Sanford or somebody. Celebrating in the locker room. You're celebrating beating a team, an FCS team. A game that went to the wire, by the way. And you're celebrating? I just think the administration got tired of his behavior, because you look at Mike Norvell, and you have to do these things. You have to do these things. I know he's doing this. Florida had a year where they got to the SEC championship game. Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts, Kadarius Toney. They didn't capitalize in the recruiting at all. You come off a season like that, you should be a top 10 national recruited. You should have a top 10 recruiting class. You should top 5 with a class like that. The production you put up offensively, and it didn't happen. Now you look at Florida State come off a 10-win season. They have a top 5 class. That's what you're supposed to do after you build. Florida had 3 straight New Year's 6 bowl games. They won 2 of them. And what did you have to show for us recruiting wise? You didn't benefit nothing. 3 straight New Year's 6 appearances, and you didn't bring in any elite classes. Oh, have I gave a prediction on record? No, I haven't gave one on record. For Florida, I've done a win game, and 7.5, 8. I think 8 wins, 7.5. You can't go 7.5, but the way I do my win game, I do half. So I had 7.5 and 8. So some of them I get 8, some of them I get 7.5. So split hairs there. I do think it'll be a lot better than people think there would be, because I like the discipline, the structure that Billy has, the coaching staff that he's hired, the way these guys go about their business. He runs a tight ship. You can see it. Like it's everything is, hey, A, B, C, D. They boxes a check. How he runs it. I think Graham Mertz is going to be a lot better than people think that he's going to be. The defense, which was pathetic last year, should be a lot better this year. You can only go up from what it was last year. I think they was like 91st overall. The third down defense was one of the worst in the whole country. So you figure if you can get in the top half of the defense, cut down on your third down defense, That right there alone, you look at Florida last year. I think we was in 6 1-score games. I want to say 6, 7 1-score games. You get some stops, you can win some of them games. Uh, I appreciate the question, dog. You keeping me alive. It's gonna make me get out at 8 o'clock. I had my guests. I lost my guest, and then I'm trying to freelance. I'm freelancing over here. I'm just kind of going at it. Big old Titan. Last question: should the SEC add Miami, Florida State, and Clemson from the ACC? Short answer: no. They already have a footprint. They already have South Carolina in Florida. They already have Florida in Florida, and they don't. Miami adds nothing to you at all. Nothing. And I don't. Florida State or Clemson doesn't really add any value to the league other than from an on the field perspective. Yeah, they give you some more quality teams, but from a revenue standpoint, they don't generate revenue like that. Clemson. Tallahassee is Tallahassee. That's why they added Texas and Oklahoma. They want to dig into that market. That's why they want A&M. They want to dig into that Texas market, that Texas revenue. Oklahoma, Midwest. You want to add that revenue, but adding Clemson and Tallahassee and Florida State doesn't give you anything from a revenue standpoint at all. Now, do you want Florida State in the conference? Yeah, I mean that'd be fun. I guess as a Florida fan, having Clemson, I would love to play Clemson. From that perspective, yes, I would enjoy playing Clemson and stuff like that. But Miami has no value. Miami's been in the ACC since 2004. Guess how many ACC championships Miami has won since 2004? This many. That many. This many. So what do Miami add to you what would Miami add to you from any standpoint? Yeah, I don't think they add anything. Okay, then how do you feel about college conferences moves and Pac-12 dying? I hate it. I spoke about it yesterday. I like some of the realignment, but some of it is silly, man. Geographically, some of it is stupid. We know football driving it, so that doesn't matter because they got enough money. They got enough money in the athletic departments to make those ridiculous trips one time a week, right? But I worry about the Olympic sports and volleyball and tennis and stuff like that. Like I keep bringing this up. Next year in the Big Ten, you will have Rutgers, who's in Piscataway, New Jersey, potentially playing the Washington Huskies, who are in Seattle, Washington. Now go look at your map, and you tell me the distance between Piscataway, New Jersey, to Seattle, Washington, and you're gonna ask a random Tuesday night for a volleyball team to travel from Piscataway, New Jersey to Seattle, Washington to play a volleyball game. Also, you got parents who want to see their kids play sports, so it was good that it was regional. So they could go travel 3, 4 hour, 5 hour drive to go see their kids play. That's gone. That's gone for its conference play. That's gone. So I hate it from a geographic part. I just kind of hate it. I like something like I like Texas, Oklahoma. That to me, that's not straying too far, and that's from the SEC Southeastern Conference. I like adding those brands. Like I said, those are big brands. You're adding those, but the Big Ten has a plan. They want to have tentacles basically. That's why I think they're gonna add. That's why I think they're gonna add Florida State and Clemson, because then they would have a Southeastern team. They would have the Northeast, the Midwest, and the West. So they would have markets basically all over the whole country. I don't think the SEC needs Florida State or Clemson or Miami. They don't need them, especially with the addition of Texas, Oklahoma. From a financial standpoint, they don't need them. The Big Ten, though, like I said, they have a plan, which is cool by me. Interesting matchups. It's gonna be fun. Some of the matchups to see. UCLA going to Ohio State, USC going to Michigan. That's gonna be kind of cool. It is, but I hate seeing any conference die. Like I said, yes, about the ACC. I don't see the ACC die. I don't want to see the Pac-12 die. Like those people care about their programs out there. Those people want to see those teams play. They deserve to see their teams play in their conference. So it's all about money, man. What moves the needle? Money. But if we don't get a college commissioner and some kind of governing body to reel this shit in, I don't know where we're going. I don't know where we're going. I just don't know where we're going. I don't like it for the most part. Some parts I do, but for the most part, I don't like college realignment just because of the geographics and potentially uh, killing out the ACC. That would suck. That would suck for me to watch the ACC go down because I grew up in the Southeast, so I grew up with the ACC. So it would suck to see the ACC go away, and it's gonna suck to see those people out there on the West Coast lose to Pac-12 eventually. Or you going to be at the world biggest cocktail party and tailgate? We'll see. We'll see. I will try to make it down to Jacksonville this year for the Florida Georgia game. So we shall see. And if I'm there, I will let you know, big man. I will let you know. Man, that hour flew by. I want to thank all of you for tuning in again. Like I said, I'll be back next Wednesday for an all new edition. Gonna talk some NFL. Obviously gonna talk college football. We will be right in the midst of starting the college football season, but we gotta break down some NFL. We gotta get some NFL in here, man. We gotta start talking about some NFL and turn the page on that and preview some of the happenings of the National Football League. Again, I want to thank everybody who tuned in. I know we lost Key, but then it's kind of early. He gave me his 4 playoff team. He didn't give me a champion, but I got him on record with his playoff team. I gave USC, LSU, Texas, and Michigan. If you put a gun to my head right now, I'll say LSU will win it all. But I really like Texas, and I like USC a lot too. So we shall see. That may change before I get to the beginning of the season. I got to the beginning to the ball kickoff. I may post and change that pick, but right now I got USC, LSU, Texas, and Michigan in your final college football playoffs. Okay, this has been Sentell, the best damn sports podcast, period. The undisputed champion of sports podcast. You know I am the sensational Sentell Whiteman. Thank you guys again. Appreciate all the comments, all the likes. If you haven't subscribed to the damn channel, people. What are you waiting on? You ain't gonna get this anywhere else but here because I am the best in the world at what I do. Do you understand what I am saying to you? So get in here. Tune in next Wednesday. Sentell live on YouTube at 7 p.m. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel, people. I will see you next time. I am out.